Welcome, creeps, to another episode of Brain Stew.
Brain Stew!
I'm Justin.
And I am Jeremy.
Don't turn off the spotlight, I still want to see her bleed. Yo, creeps, it's been a few weeks. We took a little time off, you know?
After Halloween Kills, I feel like we needed some time off.
Definitely. Actually, I needed fucking therapy after Halloween Kills. I
no
was put in a
shit.
straitjacket, you know, like had my phone taken away from me. It was a whole thing. But
you were hiding your pills in a Raggedy Ann doll.
That's very true. And then Michael Myers came and killed me off of a roof in slow motion, and that was the end of my career in the Halloween. Whatever. It's all said and done. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new episode of
Brain Stew!
And we'd like to welcome you to a very special 40th anniversary retrospective on Joseph Zito's The Prowler. But, Jeremy, we honestly couldn't do this. Not this one alone.
We couldn't, and we would
That's right.
not do it without our good buddy Joe from The Movie Dumpster, a podcast that I love very much because you guys fucking get it, man. You guys appreciate the shit that I appreciate, like Deep Rising.
Oh, yeah, man. Wow. That was a glowing introduction. Thank you very much. Yeah, dude, Deep Rising fucking rules. And, yeah, I've known Jeremy for a while, and we've always been down to talk B-movies and all that good shit, so.
Yeah, you've heard the Movie Dumpster name on this show before. I did an awesome crossover with you guys, I think, a few months back, which our listeners were really keen on. They all had a fucking blast with that shit, so...
Oh, good. Yeah, Kolobos is a blast, man, and thank you so much for coming on the show. We had a really good time, too.
Yeah, of course. So, I mean, for our creeps that are slightly uninitiated, could you just tell our listeners what you're all about, you and Movie Dumpster?
Oh, yeah, man. So Movie Dumpster is a comedy-driven movie review podcast. Movie's right in the title there. Now, Dumpster might be a little deceiving because, you know, we don't hate the movies that we review. We're on the quest for the good, bad, and the god-awful, and those hidden gems and everything in between there. You know, you get a little bit of action, a little bit of horror, cover the whole spectrum of films. So, you know, it's a foray into the trash, if you will, that Hollywood kind of throws away, or the general audiences
people want to forget about. Most people, right?
Yeah, they want to just stuff it down in the dumpster, and sometimes we do. Don't get me wrong. But I hate to invoke the name, but Pluto Nash is one of them. That can go right in the fucking garbage.
Wow, it's been many years since I've been doing
Don't even bother.
Dude, what about, have you guys done Osmosis Jones yet?
No, see.
Oh, here it comes.
Maybe. We've been trying not to do too many of the ones that we really don't like. Like I've been trying to kind of steer the show in a way where it's mostly forgotten gem horror stuff. Because it's mostly horror stuff. So if you're listening to this show, you're obviously listening to a bunch of horror movie reviews. So that's mostly what it is, but we do other stuff as well. Osmosis Jones is a big no for me. I just don't want to. Much like Halloween Kills, I don't want to fucking
I was
talk
surprised.
about it.
I was surprised you guys didn't cover on one of your ripe reviews. But I mean, I get it. Man. I was even after 2 watches, it made me even worse. It was I
watched it, jaw agape, and I'm good. It's just. I don't need it. It's just Halloween, the night he fluffed. That's all it is, and I just don't need it. Like, it could have been one fucking movie or 2 movies tops, and that's how I feel about it. We don't need to get super deep into it, but the basic.
No, and if you tried, I would stop you immediately because I would be in convulsions on the fucking floor, passing out.
Would you throw yourself out a window because of the somebody's coming, the mob's coming after you?
That poor bastard. Again, it's going to bring up all those bad memories. Like, just
dude,
a terrible decision.
A terrible decision. Oswald Cobblepot did not deserve to die that night, man.
No, he didn't.
Evil did not die that night.
No,
right?
He should have been given a bed. He should have been given a fruit basket, given some new fresh clothes, a nice fucking sponge bath or something.
Yeah, a fresh fish, maybe.
There you go. You know, he'll teach someone his French. Whatever. We're going down. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, We're so happy to have Joe on, and I'm going to plug this shit here because it seems to work. You know, the last few episodes you guys have really taken to this, but if you like what you're hearing, you love what you're hearing, you hate what you're hearing, head on over to iTunes. Please show us some love, right, Jeremy? Right?
I think they should. Yeah, I think
Go to iTunes,
it'd be only right.
Leave us a review. You guys loved that Halloween Kills poster contest. I'm sorry, those of you that got the posters saw the movie and that whatever, you wanted it, so I gave it to you.
I got one signed before I
know,
saw the
Jeremy.
movie.
You've told us 3 times.
That's fourth time.
But
yeah.
I heartily endorse
but now
this
it'll
product.
forever live in a bin.
But we are here to talk about a slasher from 1981 that celebrated its 40th anniversary last month. Yes, we're late on this. It was in October, but better late than never, and a great one to discuss, to celebrate. But before I go any further, those of you that are a big fan of this movie, I will be at the On-Set Cinema where the film was shot, Cape May, New Jersey, Inn of Cape May, on Saturday, November 20th. Our buddy Kenny for the Myers House doing amazing things with his On-Set Cinema program. Come say hi. I'll have Brain Stew stickers to throw out, and maybe we can, drink some Tito's mixed with fruit punch and shit like I'm drinking now.
Oh, and when he tells you that he's going to give away stickers, he's being very generous because this motherfucker got stickers made and literally gave me one. He was like, you can only have one.
I did that on purpose. That was to try to get you to,
I don't
tease you
believe you. You were being stingy, Justin.
Want to see him? They're right. See, look at this. See.
See, now he's rubbing it in, Joe. He's rubbing it in that I can only have one, and he gets to have all of them.
You better be really careful where you place that because you only get one of them. So
I went to some country music bar over the weekend and met my good buddy Jarrod of 2 Ps on a Podcast, and I actually put one over a Willie Nelson sticker. Hopefully, none of you are Willie Nelson fans, but I slathered that shit right over it. So there it is, but.
What the hell's a brain? What?
Yeah, brain stew, baby. All right, so Joe, you're our guest, and I'm gonna throw this at you, put you on the spot. If you had to do a half-ass synopsis of the Prowler, what would you say?
Military guy kills somebody in 1945, and then the anniversary comes up, and then he kills more people.
With the biggest case of blue balls known to man, right?
Oh, yeah, this man does not masturbate at all, no.
A little bit of PTSD in there. Maybe they're trying to say something. Maybe they're not. But yes, this is The Prowler, co-written by Glenn Leopold and Neil Barbera, son of icon Joseph Barbera of Hanna-Barbera fame, which is slightly crazy. I guess when they were on the set, there was a lot of Hanna-Barbera stories going around. And if you listen to some of the dialogue, it's a little cartoonish at times.
I think Joe Zito even went on to say something about how ridiculous it was to have the guy writing the script who was also writing the Smurfs
exactly
on the side.
Yeah. So,
dude, I did not know that. That's insane.
Well, you better be happy that we're here to tell you then.
Oh man!
So this movie came out October 9th, 1981, and it had a budget of about $1 million, and it made less than $1 million at the box office. Apparently, Jeremy, Avco Embassy wanted to pick this up, and they decided not to, and it was released independently. And apparently, with that budget, with that box office, it failed. So, unfortunately, this is a cult classic for real. It lives up to that name. It did not do well at all. I think this was found much later. Now, I was not a guy that saw this on VHS. Did either of you find this early on in your lives on VHS?
I want to say, I can't really remember. The first time that I saw this was at a buddy's house, and I can't remember. I don't think it was on VHS, but this VHS is super hard to come by, and don't even look on eBay because it's fucking ridiculous. This is one of my Grail tapes, by the way, the VCI big box. If anybody's listening and wants to, sell me one or trade me one,
hook this man up,
hook me up,
for real.
please. That's a Grail tape of mine, and that would be rad. But yeah, like you said, man, it got shit distribution. And again, when it came to home video, it just kind of faded into obscurity. And again, that's why those tapes are so, they're rare because there wasn't that many produced.
Well, I think the biggest reason, or two of the biggest reasons behind it having such a big popularity in the horror crowd now, Tom Savini at his fucking best. I mean, we're going to get into that, but at his
Fantastic.
fucking best. I mean, some of the most mean-spirited, crazy shit he's done. And Joseph Zito, who did one of the best slashers of all time, in my opinion, Friday the 13th, the final chapter.
It is very good.
I mean, let's just off the break just say, obviously this film got made because of the success of Friday the 13th. And there's so many things that you could pinpoint and go, okay, they were absolutely trying to capitalize and cash in on this. One thing that I'll just throw out there immediately is the score. Richard Einhorn, right? It was like somebody from the studio was like, okay, yeah, watch Friday the 13th. We need those music stings, the swells.
Throw a little Jaws in there. Make sure
that.
Jaws is in there. And the pool scene, Jaws has to be in there. It's got to be in there.
Yeah.
Dude, we're riding that wave, man. Everybody wants to be the next Halloween or Friday the 13th at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But with the Prowler, I mean, we have My Bloody Valentine comes around at the same time. And even The Burning, everything's kind of right in that pocket there of those 2 to 3 years. And again, like everybody's looking for that hockey mask. Everybody's looking for that shape, And I feel like the Prowler as a killer is pretty fucking iconic, dude.
I agree. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, I mean, Cropsy's awesome, and again, The Burning is probably my favorite slasher. I think it goes The Burning, My Bloody Valentine, and then
dude,
and then
remind
the
me to
Prowler
blow
for
you
sure.
when I see you in person.
So I'm gonna ask the tough question real quick. So do you guys both prefer the Prowler over Friday the 13th?
The first one?
Yeah.
100 fucking percent.
Yeah. Whoa, dude, it's
same.
way better than the original Friday for sure.
I've never, honestly, I've said this on the show, even when we did a 40th anniversary retrospective last year for the first Friday the 13th, I appreciate it in terms of its place in the history. There's so much to love about it, but at the same time, it's not even in my top 5 Friday movies, so.
No, me neither.
No.
I mean, it's iconic, but because of it's the start of the franchise. But again, I mean, it was literally a cash in.
I mean, I think
the slasher.
I think
genre.
I appreciate it more for what it did for the genre as a whole than itself as a movie overall. But that's
yes and no, only because again, in this 3-year pocket, we have very smart slasher films. And nobody's stupid in these movies. And I feel like later on it becomes this trope where people seem to have this or remember them, all these people in these movies being really stupid and doing stupid shit. And I don't think that's the case. And even with this movie, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the side characters in the Prowler, they're kind of indistinguishable. There's not a whole lot to the side characters, but what I will say is that the lead, Vicky Dawson, she was fantastic, and I felt like she was a really believable.
Am I the only one
character.
here thinking she's like Amy Steele's twin? I swear to fucking
Yeah,
God.
no,
always a double
for
take
sure,
for me.
man. Yeah, she looks just like her, especially with the hair down.
But I mean, this movie starts off with this really impressive, very accurate news segment with real stock footage that they had to pay to use about the military returning home. Followed by this letter where Rosemary is breaking things off. And I don't want your dick in me. I want another guy's dick in me. And
I'll have none of that.
It's very different from the way most slashers kick off. And there's kind of like this prestige. There's this class to the opening of this movie. And then it moves forward to Avalon Bay, June 28th, 1945, from the end of this graduation dance. And we see this extremely impressive period piece. There's something about this movie that, I mean, you could tell there's an actual filmmaker behind it rather than just someone trying to throw shit together and make a movie.
Sure. And they also had a huge budget for this. I mean, again, Joe getting $1 million to make this movie was unheard of even then. People were getting like half or less than that to make the film. I mean, how much did they make Friday for?
Honestly, I'm pretty sure
a lot less than $1 million.
Are you sure?
Right?
I thought they had at least $1 million, but I could be wrong.
I don't know.
It's been a few years since I looked at that budget, but I mean,
we got vintage cars in this. We have like vintage army clothing, and
costumes, which they had to find in a warehouse somewhere, and they had to actually borrow the cars from a local collector.
And all the Victorian like set pieces, like in Cape May, that are just like gorgeous, like the hotel.
which I can't wait to fucking see. I wish they kept it the way it was,
Oh,
man,
dude.
but it's probably
Dude,
all
wait till
modern.
you go. The upstairs, the rooms is exactly the same. Oh, by the way, I went to the.
Here we are.
Yeah. So I went to the on-set cinema that Kenny did the first time for the Prowler, and I went fully gussied up in my whole Prowler costume that I had put together, which is extremely accurate, by the way. If there's any nerds out there,
Well, there's a few nerds
that give a shit
I
about
need to
that.
connect you with someone because my friend John, who does all of the stuff with Kenny, he's been looking for help with that, so I'll have to connect you with him.
Oh, totally, man. Yeah, so I when I bought my tickets the first time, I reached out to Kenny. That was the first time that I had even known it was a thing. And I was like, hey, I'm going to wear the costume, blah, blah, blah. So I went there, and my buddy Chris Garofalo was there. He made a poster for the event, and Vicky Dawson was there, which was amazing.
See,
So
there
I
you
got
go,
to-
Jeremy. You missed that
lucky.
one. That's the one you would have wanted to go to.
I missed it. I fucked up, man. I fucked up. Yeah, I should have gone.
Yeah, man. So I go there in the full costume. Everybody's freaking out. This dude and his wife was buying me and my wife beers all night because of the costume, and Kenny was super cool, and I got to take pictures with Vicky, and they had the fucking graduation cake and everything. It was so awesome.
They better
Sick, dude.
have the cake at mine, or I'll be really
really
upset.
And punch. I'm sure they
I
will.
heard there's gonna be punch, but hey, I want it to be the 1980 version though, where it's spiked.
Yeah, this is. Hey, there you go, dude. You get that handle of Tito's, and that could be you. You could be Kurt, fucking dumping it in there.
know I'm gonna bring a flask.
By the way, the budget for Friday the 13th was $550,000.
No fucking way. Look at that.
So there you
Look
go.
at that shit. Okay.
Yep. Pretty much half the budget of what the Prowler had.
Well, there we have it. But I think this movie has a really impressive opening here. This dance sequence is just, it looks like if you turned on the TV, like Joseph Zito said in his commentary, like when you turn the TV on and just this would be on your TV, you wouldn't think it's a slasher. You wouldn't think it's a low budget horror movie. You'd think it's just a period piece. I mean, these kids are dancing around, the band's on stage. It looks beautiful. It's beautifully shot. The music is perfect. And then, of course, Roy's like, yo, let's go to the point. I want to get some necking done and get my dick wet. And then
fuck your boyfriend or whatever. If he comes back, I'll just kick his ass back overseas. Know what I'm saying?
yeah, he's like, basically he started picking a fight for someone touching his girl there. He's like, nope, fuck this guy. And then
You want a slug or what?
He's gonna get a pitchfork in the back instead, dude. He didn't even get his dick in, and he was dead. They were.
I'm a huge FX guy. I don't like to call myself an FX artist because I haven't done like any like major motion.
You
picture
know
work,
that's
but
half the reason I brought you on. I don't know if you know that or not, but
I do special effects. But man, when that fucking pitchfork goes through them, it goes through both of them, and it comes out the other side, and dude is like hugging Rosemary, and it's like you can see it coming out of her back and everything, and. What I love most about this scene is like Joe Zito and Tom Savini for a lot of these shots, for a lot of the effect shots, they planned the days that they were going to do them, but when they came to actually shooting the gag, they just kind of went with it. They didn't even like storyboard it. They were just like, yeah, we're just gonna, okay, so you set it up here, and then we're gonna shove the fucking thing through them, and this is how it's gonna go, and these are the shots or whatever. So it's super impressive, especially a lot of the kills are the most iconic thing in this film, and it's just like, they're executed superbly every time.
I agree. When I rewatched this movie, it's been a few years since I had sat down to rewatch it again because I was really saving it for the onset cinema. I did see I think it was last summer, I was there at Mahoning hoping they had a 35 millimeter print of it. I was told they did, and then they didn't, and they showed a digital print, and I got mad and left. Because
that's shitty, dude.
I mean, I know it's extremely rare to find a 35 print of this movie, but it's, just like you want that tape so bad, I just want to see it on 35.
Yeah. No, that's the allure, dude.
But rewatching it, like it is one of the most impressive kills, I think, during that era, maybe even of that year of the slashers.
I think so, and I don't consider Maniac a slasher so much as a psychological thriller with a lot of gore in it. But I mean, Savini's work in that is fucking top notch and amazing, and even The Burning too. And again, they're so close together, but the way that these hit in this is just different than both of those films. The way that it's portrayed and the way that it's executed are both beautiful, but also invoke different feelings, like, depending on what you're watching. Like that raft scene in The Burning, right? Like, there's nothing like that particularly in this movie, but they're much more intimate in this, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And I think, Jeremy, I don't know how you feel about this subject, but for me, at least, I think this is one of the most mean-spirited... I think it's one of the most mean-spirited films Savini's done.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, dude, masterful work by Savini in this, and there's a reason that for all of these slasher films, like, he was the guy. Like, they weren't going to anybody else. Like, he was the guy during that time period, and Jesus Christ, he delivered. And you could tell that as an artist, he grew so much from the time that he did work on Dawn of the Dead to, you know, just a few years later filming this. I mean, his effects work is just unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, dude, this movie, you know, it was like an application for some of the people that worked on it for future slasher things. Like Joe Zito and Savini, you know, obviously Savini worked on Friday the 13th as well, but like this film was the perfect application for Zito to make a Friday the 13th film. I mean, Jesus Christ. Like you watch this and it's like, yeah, that's, of course we're going to hire this guy to direct a Friday the 13th film. It was definitely mean-spirited and I love all the attention to detail on the kills, man. That first kill, that's how you fucking start a slasher film, man.
Oh, dude, you're hooked right in. Absolutely. And you're like, holy shit, what am I in for?
My wife watched
we were just fucking
night, and that's always how I get reactions, is watching it with someone that's never seen it. And my wife endures slashers. She loves them. She doesn't know anything about them like I do. But if it's a ghost movie, she ain't in. She's out. She's going to bed. If it's a slasher movie, she's in and she'll be on the couch. And she was so impressed with that opening. She was like, oh, I'm sitting down for this. And half the time she's like, no, that's some dumb shit that no one ever heard of. I don't want to watch. So that's how I gauge how impressive a movie is sometimes. Because I'm like, I've seen everything pretty much. There's always that one movie I've never heard of. But, you know, when you come to this genre, you got to have some big balls, you know? And
oh, yeah, man. Well, because it's so oversaturated.
Yeah. So it's like that opening. And it moves forward to 1980, which is, you know, I was born in 83. But God save me, please. If I could ever do anything, just let me go back and live from 1980 on at this age. Like, I don't want to be now. I get that we get all kinds of cool boutique things with the movies and conventions and shit, but I want to see all these movies in these terrible old school vintage grindhouse theaters. So fucking bad. Thinking about seeing this opening night in like on 45th Street in New York City or something, like just it makes me so nostalgic.
The thing with that is, like, you don't appreciate that shit until, like, now, though, right? Like, all those cats that went to 42nd Street and saw all these movies in the fucking shitty, you know, cum-filled fucking sticky seat, whatever, theater, and saw a double bill of The Prowler and whatever, you know, Basket Case or something, or, you know, The Burning or something. You know, it's just, like, I mean, they were enjoying it, but I don't think they realized the cult status that would have came out of it, like, later, like, now, how we appreciate it. If that makes sense,
because
all we do now is like look back on these films and we're like, shit, like that's the fucking golden age, and it really is, for slasher movies especially. I mean, Jesus, what's the last good slasher that you've seen that was like newer, contemporary?
Do I really want to answer that, Jeremy? I'll pass the baton to you.
I can tell you what one of my favorite contemporary slasher films is. It's a foreign film called Cold Prey.
Okay.
Have you seen that, Joe?
I have not, but hey man, I'm down.
Dude, holy shit, man. It is brutal as fuck. It takes place in the snow.
Ooh.
It's there's three of them. It's a trilogy.
Okay.
And I have the first two on DVD. The third one, man, I can't find a US release for it. And like I can't find like anything with subtitles, and it's like, well, I don't speak fucking whatever, you know, language.
I don't know what language
so it's like,
but I like it.
I'm like, all right. Like, and at one point, I actually tried to watch it. I was like, fuck it, I'll just watch it and not know what the fuck they're saying. And I'm like, no, I can't do this.
Yeah, I definitely got to check that out.
Cold Prey is a good one. Dude, Cold Prey is fucking awesome. It's another trilogy that I really, really enjoyed. That it sounds ridiculous, but I tell people often when they ask, like, well, what about some, like, modern slashers? Dude, it was a made-for-TV trilogy for MTV, My Super Psycho Sweet 16.
Really?
Dude, I'm not joking when I tell you, they are literally 80s slasher films.
Really?
They're fucking fantastic, man. The guy, and I can't remember the filmmaker's name, but it's the same filmmaker. He made all three of them. He's done some other genre work as well. But you could tell that this guy not only loves 80s slasher films, but he knows them inside and out. And MTV gave him a huge budget. And they were like, hey, we've got this TV show called My Super Sweet 16 or whatever the fuck it was called. And they're like, here's some money. Go make a horror version of this for, like, straight-to-TV movies. And he did. And they only had, like, a limited, like, DVD release on, like, Amazon or some shit like that, to where now you can't even hardly find them. But dude, they're fantastic.
I gotta
really
check it out.
good.
Freaky was okay, but that was more like a comedy. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But again, like, we're not to derail the conversation too much, but, like, we're on the cusp of, like, we have a new Halloween, we have a new fucking Chucky series, we have a new Scream coming out, and it's like, okay, but, like, are they doing the things that they kind of need to do? You know? If that makes sense.
Well, that is subjective. So I would have.
I know it's subjective.
It's going to be, and like it's like I liked Terrifier. That's not for everybody. Maybe that's the last mean-spirited slasher that I really enjoyed. I mean, but even the likes of, like, Hellfest or whatever, which is like a modern mainstream, very typical slasher, I'm like, I passively enjoyed it. I had a few drinks, sat in the theater, and watched it with 3 other people in there. But it's just. I guess I appreciate the fact that they're being produced in the first place and that people are still watching them. Like, that my kid, who's 17 years old, would go to the theater to see them with her friends. Considering they're not really, when the haunted house movies took over for so fucking long, it was the torture porn and the haunted house movies, that they can even exist.
Yeah, I mean, we're hitting that cycle again, where it's all coming back, because we're getting a new Paranormal Activity too, which actually doesn't look bad, and I think that Scream 5 trailer looks okay. But I don't know, I just don't see a lot of, like, really good indie slashers, because, like, everybody's trying to do that kind of, like, I don't even know how to put that, but more I don't want to say hipster, but, like,
like art
house,
style.
More art house, which I appreciate, but, like, there's no, like, not that there's none, but, like, I haven't personally seen anything lately coming out of the indie community that's like, holy shit, you need to fucking see this slasher, right?
Well, I feel like exactly.
Well, Joe, let me pick your brain, Stu.
Do it.
Joe. Tell me, what do you think about the Hatchet movies?
I think one is fine. Look, Adam Green did that. It was a beautiful love letter. You got John Carl Buechler doing the effects, and I'm fucking here for that. And Kane Hodder as Victor Crowley. You can keep the rest of it, right? I thought it was a fun little homage, and I'm good, right?
So, yeah.
No, yeah, I mean, dude, I loved. It's funny. I had this exact conversation earlier. I was talking with my buddies Nathan, and I feel like, we talked about Terrifier and we brought up Hatchet. I was someone that when Hatchet came out, I was fucking stoked.
Oh yeah, man, I remember.
Oh man, I was so into it, and I'm like, dude, fucking 80s slasher flicks are coming back to the modern age. We got a new horror icon. I was super stoked. I felt like I was just ready for that next thing. I'm not saying that it's not good. I still appreciate the Hatchet films for what they are, but now looking back, I'm like, well, no wonder I was so into them, is because I desperately wanted that thing that had been missing from the movies that I was watching. And I kind of feel like Terrifier is that new thing, because I'm not saying that it doesn't deserve to have fans or that it doesn't deserve to get the recognition it's getting, but, like, these guys are getting added to, like, every convention, and I'm like, holy shit, man, like, and people are requesting them. They're like, bring the Terrifier, people. So I'm like, okay, so, like, maybe this is, for what's happening right now, how I felt in 2007 with, like, people that just wanted the next thing. And, like, let's be honest, clowns are hot, right? Everybody, you put a clown in something, it's going to make some fucking money.
No, I get that. To be fair, to your point, just to be fair, like I haven't seen Hatchet in a fucking decade, dude. Like, but I remember liking it a lot. I own it, so maybe I should revisit it, and I can, I can get a better handle on it. I see what you're saying, though, for sure.
Well, getting back to the Prowler, guys.
Sorry,
no, it's okay. Listen,
I love you guys. I don't get to really talk too much about this.
This happens all the
stuff.
time, and that's what our listeners love. So they don't give a fuck. But moving along here, listen. What do you drink? Your goddamn Mountain Dew over there. I need to pound my fruit punch mixed with Tito's here, just like I'm a graduate in 1980. I love this scene where the sheriff is all like, well, we just heard there's a murder nearby. Some dude robbed a store. They say the killer may be on his way, but fuck it. I'm going fishing because I can't never start off no summer without catching some trout. Protect and serve, baby. I mean, that scene right there, I'm like, okay, something's happening here. They're removing the threat. But also, like, is it something?
I don't know. I'm just here for Farley Granger, dude. Like, he's my dude. Like, he's a Hitchcock alumni, and he's in a great episode of Tales from the Dark Side called Painkiller. I don't know. He's just a ham, and I love him. He doesn't have too much to do with this movie, but I do love him.
He's in like 2 seconds of the movie. If you want to
literally
be fair.
2 scenes.
But I mean, that's great though. With $1 million budget, you can only hope. But following this, I think there is a scene in this. There are some shots that literally make me ooze from my phallic area.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, guys, how many superhero suit-up scenes have we had throughout the years? Batman, Superman, Snake Plissken. I mean, these badass characters. But how many amazing horror icon suit-ups have we had?
The only one I can think of off the top of my head is from the Thanksgiving trailer that Eli Roth did for the Grindhouse movies, and I fucking love that so much, dude. When he's putting the fucking hat on and the gloves and shit, it's great. But yeah, the Prowler's here, zipping up his fucking army fatigues and all that shit, dude, man.
Zipping up his boots, knife in the sheath, ready to fucking kill.
I'm going to tell you right now, it's hard as hell to lace up those fucking gaiters, man. I'll tell you what, when you put the costume on, it's very tough to get that
I wonder
right.
how many shots they had to take to get that right, Just thinking, I mean, just for me, like, they're definitely glorifying the killer in a weird, strange way. I mean, this is technically kind of before the popularity of the suit-up scene in a weird way. But
I can't think of. Do you guys remember any? I can't.
Not
really...
before this. I mean, after this,
No,
we had a bunch. I mean, I think Snake Plissken and Escape from New York a few years later.
Sure.
But I mean, like in a horror movie, that's why I had to ask this question. I can't recall. I mean, this is the first time you get those close-ups of that, and like obviously now in modern terms, we associate that with like, yeah, we're getting something good here. And that's what the movie gives you. And I don't know if people watching it now, looking back, would notice that or not. But for me, I'm like, holy fuck, dude. We're getting a suit-up scene for our main killer, and it's amazing.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Can we real quick just talk about the fact that me and you both put something in our notes, Justin, and we rarely discuss stuff that we're going to talk about on the show.
Unless you're going to talk shit about me, and then I have to make sure you're not going to make me look too bad.
So, earlier when we were talking about recording the show tonight, we talked about the character of Mark London, and I was like, dude, and I sent you a picture, and I was like, this motherfucker looks like fucking Cillian Murphy, and you were like, holy
it's
shit,
Scarecrow,
dude.
It's fucking Scarecrow.
Yeah. You were like, holy shit, bro, I have that in my notes, and I was like, dude, so do I.
If this was the movie dumpster, that motherfucker would be in the MDU. It'd be like Cillian Murphy is the fucking sheriff of this town, and then he becomes a fucking psycho, and then he designs a fucking fear toxin and fights Batman. There you go. It's all connected.
It's that one angle, man. It's that one side angle. I'm telling you. As soon as I saw it, I was like, it's him. he's there. I'm seeing shit.
I'm like, dude, this motherfucker just needs to find a quiet place. He needs to find a quiet place.
By the way,
it's got that red eye,
one of the
too,
best
yeah.
fucking things about that movie. I fucking love that movie, and I loved him in it. He's a brilliant guy. He needs more work. You know what? We need to see him in a new slasher movie where he's the killer. There you go. Go do it, Hollywood.
I mean, he's got the face. He's got the fucking face.
I'd take it. Oh, side note. I don't hate Devon. I've been watching that new Chucky series, and I don't hate Devon Sawa. I think he could. He's totally hit the age where he can be that fucking like disgruntled sheriff or whatever.
Oh shit! Is he in that? I haven't watched it yet. Even though I told you I would do it.
I'm waiting to binge it.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to binge
I've watched
shit.
the first 4 episodes. It is what it is. Look, I like it better than the last 3 installments. So put it that way.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot.
I need
of that
to
recently,
watch it.
So that's good to hear.
It, but
yeah. It's interesting. I'm wondering to see where it goes. But anyway.
Dude, Devon Sawa, man, fucking the Fanatic with John Travolta. Have you seen that show?
I've seen the John Travolta bit. I've watched clips of it, but I haven't seen
Jeremy,
the
full
thing.
It's
commentary.
so good.
Ladies and gentlemen, tell me if you want it.
Dude.
Full commentary.
Dude, can I be on
Fred
that?
Durst
I'm
directed
dying
that
for
shit, man, for
Yes.
God's sake.
I forgot.
Fuck yes, you can. Dude, and the creepy thing, and then we can get back to the Prowler, I swear to God. But the creepy thing is like, obviously, like, I'm a big autographer, and the conversations that John Travolta has, like, his character has in the show, or I mean in the movie, it's uncanny because I've heard those same exact conversations happen in real life. Like, well, what kind of pens do they have on their table? I don't know how. Are they flowing right? Are they like? Do you think that they'll use my pen? And like,
I'm gonna lie to you, Jeremy.
Dude,
when I watched the movie, I'm like, that's you.
That's Jeremy. That's
slightly less
right there with you,
slightly
dude.
less nerdy. Well, actually, you're less nerdy than you're way cooler than he is. You're
Thank
very
you.
attractive. They gave him that terrible bowl cut, but I mean, you had to do something with, since he's bald for real, and they put the weird hair and stuff.
Yeah.
But
Dude, you want to hear something fucked up? Is like I just shaved my head again today, right? Because like I'm also like a pretty much bald guy, And so like I fucking my parents wanted to FaceTime with my daughter earlier. So like I was sitting on the couch, hat on, and my dad was like, "Holy shit, you look like John Travolta right now." And I was like, "God damn it!" So this conversation.
I swear to God, I thought you were just going to tell me that your parents wanted to FaceTime with John Travolta, and you made something happen for a quick little meet and greet. I don't know, because everybody in the fucking world. Like, can you get him on the show? Can you?
Maybe.
I'll see what I can do. See what I can do.
As one man who's comfortable with his sexuality to these other 2 men that I'm talking to, you're both very handsome guys, by the way. And I wish I looked as good as you do with a shaved head, because I would do the same thing.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Confidence level boost.
Just don't let him.
You don't look like John Travolta, put it that way.
If he stands next to you, he'll look great. If he stands next to me, he'll look very short. Just saying. It's just kind of a thing.
Hey, I get it.
Tap him on the head and good boy.
Yeah, we're like we're like the fucking movie twins over here. When we hang out together, it's like I'm fucking DeVito and he's
come on,
he's
you're my
Schwarzenegger
brother. I
versus-
swear to God, come on, just be my brother.
with his short shorts that smell like fucking Taco Bell dumpster.
Goodness
Very,
gracious.
very true. But again, ladies and gentlemen, you love what you're hearing. But back to the Prowler. We're going off the rails is what this show is all about.
I will
so
stop.
fucks,
I will
give
stop.
her zero.
I will stop interjecting. I'm sorry.
No, we actually want you
No.
to do that.
We
Everyone
need it.
wants it.
Come
That's
on.
what they love. Seriously, our listeners. If I could look out at you in the audience right now and see you cheering, all 4 of you, I know you'd all be raising your hands, screaming, and loving us. But we have to get to the first kill on this. Well, the first kill in 1980 in this.
Yes.
With fuck me, damn it, Joe, you're the effects guy. The knife through the top of the head, through Carl's chin. All Carl wants to do, like anyone in any slasher movie, male or female, is get laid. He's just trying to pick up his date, and she's in the shower. She's showing her melons off, and he's like, yo, I'll take my clothes off.
So this motherfucker gets ready for prom, right? He gets ready, he does his hair, he's ready for prom. Now all of a sudden he's like, oh, I'm going to go get in the shower now, and then I'm going to have to get ready for prom again.
Dude, if Sherry's in the shower and she's like, hey, wanna come in? I'm out of my fucking gorilla suit in a flash, and in that shower, I don't know about you cats.
You're ripping that button off the top of your shirt, you're throwing the tie on the floor. Dude, fuck the graduation party. This is what we were supposed to get to at the end. I'm getting it now. I'm getting my fucking appetizer before my dinner. So, yeah, 100%. But it leads to one of the meanest, one of the most brutal kills. And I love watching Tom Savini's behind-the-scenes video on how he did this kill with the prosthetic head. You would never be able to tell, man. Seriously. With Savini's work, it's so seamless. The way that bayonet blade goes to the top of the head, down through the chin, and out the bottom, man, I feel that shit. I think he's one of the only effects guys that, at least for me, when I see the kill, I feel that shit. Like, that part of my body will start tingling a little bit, and I'll cringe a little bit, and I'm like, fuck, man. When he puts that knife down through the top of his head, and you see the shot of him suffering, you're like, fuck me, dude. You just sit back and damn.
It's the most iconic imagery that's associated with this film. Anytime somebody gets the license to this movie, and they're like, okay, now I can paint something and put it on a t-shirt to sell, it's always this image. I mean, it's iconic, and whoever came up with the idea of making his eyes white is a fucking genius, because it's so jarring and strange and terrifying looking. Like, holy shit,
They were supposed to be like his eyes rolled on the back of his head. It doesn't necessarily come off that way so much as it's just super fucking creepy. And to your point, Justin, the magic of Savini's work is that this is a guy who was in the fucking trenches as a photographer in Vietnam, right? He's literally seen everybody killed in every which way, and it's very well documented.
For real. And he took photos of it, man, which is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's a testament to his work and his legendary status, really. I mean, that's why you feel the way you do, I feel like, when you see something from Savini.
I mean, do you feel like that's why he's so angry when he goes to conventions, because he just is thinking about all those dead bodies?
You know, I wasn't going to bring that up, but...
Have at it, boys. I ain't met him yet, but I've heard so many stories from all of y'all, so...
He's actually always been nice when I've met him. I've been like, except for one time, man, it was like early on going to conventions, and like I just got this Dawn of the Dead tattoo, and I guess I don't know what, I was younger, I was, late teens. I guess I didn't know what to expect from him, because I walked up to him and was like, oh man, check out my tattoo, and he was like, cool. And that was it. So I guess I don't.
I honestly
don't know, like,
him to
what.
Say, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I don't. I guess I don't know what reaction I wanted out of him. He just went, cool. I was like, thanks, man. Have a good one.
I'm glad that I'm not the only one who had that experience, because, like, again, like, he's one of my heroes. So to be, I've told the story on my show multiple times of different encounters with him. I've only met him twice, but they were both mediocre to awful, especially that first time, because, like, again, I'm an up-and-coming teen who wants to do, effects work, and I go to one of my idols, and I'm like, oh my god, like, I love your work so much, and we're talking about Creepshow and stuff like that, and I mentioned the bullet hole with the fishing line, and I'm like, wow, that's really brilliant, like that, how you engineered that and all that stuff, and he's like, yeah, nobody does it like that anymore. And then he just, like, looked away from me, and I was like, and that's when my fucking soul was crushed inside of me as a kid.
Listen, kid, I'll just sign your shit, move over there to the end of the line.
Basically. But he sounds very nice on, like, commentary tracks and shit, so I expected that, right?
You know, what's funny is that, so, of course, people that go to conventions and go to autograph shows, they openly talk about how much of a dick they think that he is, and like I said, I got lucky in the fact that, I think the second time that I met him, my wife was with me, and I don't think that we were married yet then, but, like, he was like, oh, a chick. So He was, like, trying to be funny and witty, and, like, he was super cool, man. He was really cool and very talkative, but I feel like it's because she was there, but obviously it got back to him on, like, how people thought he was a dick.
Oh, really?
And I read a whole response from him where he was like, put it this way, guys. he goes, you guys coming up to me and telling me how great I am. He was like, it's very nice and I appreciate it. He goes, however, I don't know how to respond to it. He goes, I really don't. I've never gotten used to it. It's something that I just don't know how to process it. He goes, I like Leonardo DiCaprio. He goes, I'm a big fan of his work, and I think he's one of the greatest actors that have ever lived. He goes, so guess what? When I found out that I was going to be working with him on Django, he goes, rather than just walk up to him and go, hey, I'm a big fan of your work, he goes, I knew that the conversation would immediately be over because Leonardo DiCaprio would go, oh, thanks, man, and he would keep walking. However, I wanted to have a conversation with him, so I did research on Leonardo DiCaprio, and come to find out we had something in common, that we both collect vintage movie posters.
Huh.
He said, so I approached Leonardo DiCaprio and said, hey, how's it going? I'm Tom, nice to meet you. Yeah, I read that you collect vintage posters, man. I do too. And he goes, next thing you know, in between filming, we're talking for over half an hour. He said, if I would have just walked up and said, hey, man, I'm a big fan of yours, he would have said, cool, and went about his business. So he goes, if you want to have a real conversation with me, do some research. Let's talk about something that we're both interested in. So I thought that was interesting.
Okay, let me parry that comment. Here we go. So I'm at the Mahoning Drive-In. I am in full fucking Prowler regalia.
Where the fuck was I? Where the fuck was I for this?
Well, they did it for Halloween because they showed Creepshow, and they had Monster Mania there, so they had Savini there. Okay. And I was like, this is it, man. I'm gonna rectify that bad experience I had, and we're gonna hit it off. We're gonna talk. And so I dress up and I go, and I meet him, and I bring my Italian poster. What are they called? The Laga, whatever the fuck they're called. The little posters. And I have it of Rosemary's Killer, but the Italian version. So I show up. I show up and I meet him in the costume, and he's just like, "Huh, Rosemary's Killer. Yeah, I worked on that." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I was like, I'm a big fan of your work." And and again with the poster thing, I bring the poster out. I'm like, "Yeah, this is Italian. I forget the name of it. It starts with an L. Excuse me, I can't remember. But I put it out, and he's like, "Oh, this is great." He's like, "Oh, where'd you get this?" And blah blah. And I was telling him about, I found it on eBay, and I had this whole debacle with finding an original one sheet with this guy in the UK, and we were talking. So to your point about talking about vintage movie posters and stuff, albeit one that he's worked on. I am a collector of posters as well as Jeremy is, and it was just one of those things where he said only a couple words. We talked. I told him exactly I told him the story, and then he was like, "Huh," and then he just signed it, and that was it. You know what I mean? And I still felt like when I was 17. So I was like, okay, it's kind of it was kind of the same experience, I guess, is what I'm saying.
I think where I'll leave the Savini discussion in terms of meeting him was when I was at CritterCon, and I actually met you for the first time, Joe. And
that was great.
And I was buying a tiny little awesome critter from one of those independent artists that were hanging out. And he was there, and he had worked at the Savini school for special effects. And we just started chatting while we were hanging out, and I was going to buy this critter off of him. And he was like, "Yo, worst situation, worst experience for a fan ever." Oof. Even as recent as him being there as someone getting education for special effects, and Tom coming in to show them the episode of Creepshow that he had directed or co-directed.
The Loch Ness one?
Yeah.
Not great.
And it being all about him, nothing about the students, nothing about the effects, and just a whole smorgasbord of, a lot of feces all over the table, and not really giving a fuck about anybody else. And I've never met the man. I don't know the man in real life, but I get now, why I've heard so many stories.
Sure.
I guess for me at least, and I've always tried to do this, it's been difficult on so many occasions on all these things that I've done, these different encounters and meeting people, is to separate the art from the artist. But I'm sure you guys get it, man. It's so fucking hard sometimes to do that, especially when you hear so many stories and your own experiences have been so kind of weak to shit, you know, like it's that moment where you meet your hero, and people have said throughout the years, don't ever want to meet your hero because they're not who you expect them to be, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
most of the time, from my experience, that hasn't been true. But however, if you do this for as long as what me and Joe have been doing it, you're bound to run into people either out in the wild at events or at autograph shows that do not live up to your expectation, or maybe not even your expectation. They're just not kind people that, you know, I don't think they get it. You know, I've said it 1,000 times and I'll say it 1,000 times more. Alice Cooper, I'm not a big fan of his music, but I'm a big fan of the way that he treats his fans.
Sure.
Right? You know, he has gone on record as saying many times that when I walk out of my front door, I am Alice Cooper for the people. He said, I will always stop. I will always sign. I will always take pictures because my fans made me. They gave me a career that's lasted
he should
all
tell
of
that
these
to
years.
Kiss. He should tell that to Kiss.
Yeah. He said, when I'm at home, that's my time. But anytime I walk out of my front door, I am Alice Cooper for the people, and I love
and
that.
I guess that's my problem with it, because like that's the mentality that like I personally would have. I would be humble about my work and be like, holy shit, people give a shit about me, especially fucking how many years fucking removed from these movies, you know what I mean? And somebody's still coming up to me going, wow, that was really excellent, I love you, you know, or whatever. You know, and you can chalk it up to, you know, him being modest and kind of you know, he doesn't really know what to say to you if you say, oh, you're great or whatever. And I kind of relate to that in a way where it's like you don't think you're great or as good as you could be, or you're always trying to be better. And I get that too. But but to Justin's point too, like that's no excuse to come into. These people are paying you to come in and learn from you.
Yeah, they're not meeting you on the
respect-
street at the local fucking Sunoco or whatever.
Yeah. They come in to learn, and they respect you, and they expect to learn from the master, or in their minds. And you come in and you just flaunt a fucking creep show episode that's probably one of the weakest out of that fucking first season, and they're supposed to what? I don't know what. Grovel at your feet? What you know? I don't know. It's just shitty. I wish he was just a tad more humble and a tad more personable, but you know. It is what it is. He's still a legend, for
and
sure.
Luckily, boys,
Absolutely.
we can sit here and look back at his past work and appreciate it. And I think that's the key thing. He hasn't like murdered anybody.
No question about it.
There's no like hashtag Me Too on Tom Savini.
None that we know about, at
Where
least.
we're like, we got to cancel this motherfucker. Yo, he's just a prick. And if you meet him and you pay to meet him, he's going to be a prick. He'll sign your poster.
Can we talk about the fact that he's like an old ripped prick? I don't know if he still is, but for years in his 60s, the guy was
He's not now though, because I think
ripped.
he had like a health thing or something, and he's
He also like, dude. I mean, he had a little bit of his comeuppance because he got hit by a fucking car.
That's what it was. Yeah. Okay.
Look, I don't wish any ill will on the fucking guy. I'm just saying, I wish it just didn't break my spirit. That's all.
Yeah. No, I fucking get it, man. I fucking get it.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's a fucking legend, and he's amazing, and all of his work is fantastic, and I still am enamored by it. Let's put it that way.
And even more so in this movie, I think, again, for me, this is one of my favorite slasher movies he had his hand in. You saw what he was able to do with Dawn of the Dead, then he moved on to Friday the 13th, and I think right after that, like you said, Joe, earlier on, with The Burning and this back-to-back, he really just started knocking it out of the fucking park. Like, you don't see effects like this that are as mean and real, you know?
No. And to his credit, dude, this guy was turning this shit around like nobody's fucking business. Like, I think he did that Cropsy makeup in like 3 days.
3 days.
Like,
oh my God. Because there was they had no idea what they wanted it to look like, and he threw it together. Yeah. And I love that makeup. I love that imagery.
It's iconic.
But I mean, I wish it would be more appreciated, but even more so here.
Absolutely.
We have an amazing fucking horror icon with awesome fucking kills. And I think that there is a level of suspense and build up in this movie almost all the way through. I'll get to the ending as we finish out the episode, that Joseph Zito employs that is kind of an entryway to show you what he could do, Jeremy, for a Friday the 13th, the final chapter. We get expertly produced suspense to almost every kill. I mean, other than like, creepy ass old Major Cheney Chatham next door getting all
grabby
fucking
grabby
his
pants.
isotoners on. I'm just gonna
Poor Lawrence Tierney.
I'm like, dude, you need gloves.
Hey, baby, I don't even get a speaking role in this. I just sit in my wheelchair.
I'm just gonna grab at you,
talk.
and she's gonna shriek for fucking 3 minutes straight with no dialogue. What? Let me go! And he's just like, poor bastard.
To be fair, there's a lot of waiting around for something to happen, especially with how they go to the she goes to the inn. Oh wait, I gotta say this.
Yeah, go in.
Or
get in.
Or
deep.
do you want to introduce this, because after Sherry and Kirk get killed, we have some more love triangle whatever's going on.
You mean the bitch at the dance? Yeah. She's like,
yeah.
I'm gonna grab you right now, honey. I'm gonna dance with you, and I'm gonna look at that other bitch, and I'm gonna dance with you. She's shaking her ass, and I'm like, I don't know what you got, honey. I'm like, he'd be walking away from you in a minute.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. They were into that, like the no butt thing. I don't know what's up with that.
I mean, there's the no thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm being mean. I'm just like, okay, slightly permed a little bit. Nice dress. I don't.
Big hair, big ass. That's what I'm after. Here we go. She dumps some punch on Vicky by accident, because of the sheriff. Like, she bumps into him. But Vicky Dawson goes back to the room where Sherry and Kurt are killed. Now, this is fucking so fantastic, this scene, because she goes in and she thinks Sherry's in the shower, and she's talking to her, and she's like, yeah, whatever. And the door slowly opens, and the Prowler is still in the fucking
it's putting
bathroom.
her directly in danger, and it's leading us to such a great sense of suspense.
Man,
Wasn't she taking a shower when Vicky's character first left for the dance too, though? Like,
I think Vicky thinks they're fucking in there or messing around, so she's like, I just came to change my dress.
You think she'd hear some?
Well, I don't know, dude. If somebody came in the room, you're mid-thrust, you're stopping, and you're like, oh, who's that?
If my friend was taking a shower and then I came back like 45 minutes later and I still heard the shower, I'd be like, all right, did you like pass out in there? Did you stroke out? She was like,
exactly. Or you'd be hearing something like,
yeah.
Maybe
she was like, have fun with your fucking 2-hour shower. I'm gonna change my blouse.
You hit your head in there? You hit
my
your head in
blouse.
there? You all good? Did you pass out? I mean, I go to the sauna at the gym 5 times a week, and I almost pass out every time.
Oh man.
I take my last comment back, because when Justin drinks, he fucking takes the next day, he'll take a fucking shower for like fucking ever, and then he'll get out, and then he'll drink that liquid IV shit, and then he'll get back in the shower for like another hour to shake the hangover.
Dude, that's very true.
Maybe I'll take that back.
Honestly, I will stand there in a hot fucking shower, a hotel, hopefully, so I don't have to pay the water bill, and it'll just like
that sounds like a good remedy, dude.
It's a great remedy, but that liquid IV shit, ladies and gentlemen, I wish they'd sponsor us on this show. Be like, listen to this drunk, listen to this drunk motherfucker, because he can do this show, and then afterwards drink our product, and then wake up in the morning and, hey, how you doing, buddy? I want to hang out with you.
I'm so excited when the fucking stars align, whenever that is, when we're all at a fucking convention or whatever together, so I can fucking hang with you cats and just fucking get shitty.
Hey, man,
I don't do whatever.
Last time I saw you, it was honestly, just gonna say, it was a really big treat, and I remember texting Jeremy afterwards, telling him, because
I was just
saying.
I thought you were gonna be there, dude. I was looking forward to seeing you.
We got his poster signed for him, but he couldn't make it.
Got my posters. Dude, Joe was gonna get my poster signed, and then you guys were like, hey, I'm going. I was like,
Justin to do it, because he's gonna fuck it up. It's gonna be in the wrong spot with the wrong marker. I don't know, but
got me sounding like Travolta from Fanatic, man.
No, for real.
To be fair, the Kyotos had their shit on lock, dude, with their markers. Yeah,
they did, and they were amazing. And it's just like, for me at least, I think just being a little bit sentimental here, and you kind of got to be that way, you don't meet many people in the real world that are special to you. A lot of stuff is on the intranet, if you will. And for real, though, it was a big joy meeting you in person. And you don't get those kinds of interactions that often. So anytime I meet anyone that I think is going to be a fantastic person,
like a real friendship,
a real dude, a real person, real chick, whatever they are,
Totally, and I don't see you guys that much. I think the last time I saw Jeremy in person, I think
he had hair, probably.
By the bathroom.
He probably had hair,
I saw
right?
No, dude. The last time I saw him, I think it was by like the bathroom at Monster Mania, and we were talking for a little while. But like, I don't know. I consider you guys friends. I don't see you that often.
Oh,
but,
for sure.
Dude,
it's so funny. I feel like anytime me and Joe run into each other, it's always like just like the happiest.
Oh, yeah.
We're like, oh, shit, hey! It's never planned. It's never fucking coordinated. It's always like, oh, shit, hey!
Always
and
running
then,
into each other.
We fucking catch up. Yeah, dude. It's the best, man. It's one of the best things about going to horror conventions, man, is I've met so many people that I'll be friends with for the rest of my life.
That's where we met, dude. Like, so
fuck yeah, dude. It's if you're a horror movie fan and you've never been to an autograph show, I so strongly suggest that you go and you give it a shot because waiting in line typically sucks. Like, nobody likes to wait in line. I've never heard somebody say, you know what I fucking like? Wait in line. Yeah, well, never.
I do.
However,
it's like the tattoos I get, man. It's worth the wait if it's that good.
It's a necessary thing at these shows that you wait in these lines. But what's great about waiting in these lines sometimes is that you meet these people that are just like you, and that they share the same hobbies and the same loves and the same passions, and then you get to talking. So all of a sudden, when you're in line for 2 hours for fucking Nev Campbell or fucking Amy Steele or whoever, it's like you talk to these people and you're like, holy shit, like this person's just like me. And the next thing you know, you're like, hey man, are you on Facebook?
Yeah,
and then you just become friends with
that's
people,
how
and then
you and I met. It wasn't It wasn't an autograph thing, but it was a movie thing, and that's how I've met so many of the amazing people that I've met over the past 10 years. It would be nothing if it wasn't for all of these different screenings or conventions. So 100% take the jump, dude.
For sure. I was
jump right in.
Go on, sorry. Yeah, I was online for Clive Barker, and I was just talking to this girl, and we were just talking. Me and my wife were talking to her, and we were talking about Clive Barker and stories and stuff. Turns out it's Adriana Gober, and she puts on shows at the Frank Banco Ale House. That's like, I believe it's in Allentown, which is like 45 minutes from me.
PA,
30
man.
minutes.
That's not far from where I grew up, so that's awesome.
Man, it's like 30 minutes from me. So, like, we just hooked up, and I'm like, oh, awesome. And she puts on, like, these awesome shows, so... Yeah, I mean, you don't know who the hell you're going to meet, and they're all good people. Mostly, it's mostly good folks, for sure.
Joe, were you the one... Refresh my memory. Were you the one that you sent me the fan edit of Halloween 1 and 2 put together, Hell Comes to Haddonfield? Was that you?
No, but...
I think it was your... At one point, was it... man, you had a buddy that...
We did, yeah.
Maybe you guys... made the DVDs.
It's the Sam cut, right?
Chris,
me and my buddy Chris Barr did home Video Express, and we had tables for years at Monster Mania.
Dude, I think it was Chris that sent me the DVD.
Oh, then there you go. Well, yeah, it was the unabridged night he came home, Halloween 1 and 2, right?
Yes. Yeah. Perfect, dude. Perfect edit.
Thank you.
Yeah, so it's amazing.
I forgot about that.
I got to ask you guys, favorite kill of the Prowler?
Favorite kill? Okay, that's gonna be really hard.
In the entire flick.
It's gonna be so hard.
I can lead. I'll lead with mine. I'm gonna lead with mine.
Head blown up by a shotgun.
Dude, I mean, that shit
Boom!
was fucking
Apple
incredible.
cores and all.
Was fucking incredible. But dude, the pool scene dude, you could tell Savini was like so on top of his game that Joe Zito was like, oh fuck, close up, camera's gonna hang here. It's gonna show the fucking brutality, like with the fucking knife and her neck going back and forth.
Sorry, I'm just saying.
I love
the
it.
Jaws theme basically it's a note off for the entire fucking time, but I'm like, yeah, I like when they used to be able to rip off the Jaws theme and no one gave a fuck because it was such a small movie, no one paid attention.
So, I would agree with Justin because but I think Savini does it better in Maniac, and I would agree with Jeremy because there's something about that pool kill.
The way the knife just slides back and forth in her fucking throat.
Well, that's just like the coup de grace, dude. First he kicks her in the fucking face.
Oh, I love that kick, dude. I love that.
Yeah. I laugh every fucking time.
Tell me this right now, both of you. Would you ever see a male villain, regardless, or a female villain, kick another female protagonist in the face with a big, heavy steel boot today? Dude. In a movie?
No, I don't think so. But I don't see why not.
Yeah. Like I said, man, I laugh. Every time I watch this movie, I laugh so hard because it's just
what
so
I love about it.
Oh yeah, dude.
Savini just had like a fake boot with like a fucking piece of plastic attached to the boot, and he just like he
had a full leg on his arm. He kicked her in the face.
He kicked her in the face for real. He like legit kicked her. I told the wife, I was like, you know that's real, right? She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, no, he really that's a real foot to the face. No, it's not. I'm like, no, really, he hit her. He hit that bitch right in the fucking face, dude. She flew in the water. And then we get that amazing underwater scene where she's like dying. That's like slow motion, and she held her breath. I've never seen anything like that in a slasher since that.
That's the piece de resistance, dude. When she's under the fucking water and she drops down and that extra blood comes out and then the fucking bubbles come out, it's like, man, you couldn't have fucking planned that better. You know?
It's great, man. I love that whole sequence.
And to Jeremy's point too, like he said, that iconic scene of Kirk getting it through the fucking head. The other iconic scene is that arm around the head, and her, him slitting her throat. That's the big one. And it's funny because that's on the cover of the VHS, the VCI that I mentioned before. And also, since I had the costume, my buddy Mark Schoenbach from Sadist Art Designs,
I love Mark.
Saw that
my boy. Yeah, my boy.
He saw that fucking costume, dude. He's like, dude, you got to take some reference photos for me because I'm doing a shirt for Fright Rags. So that Rosemary's Killer Fright Rags shirt, if y'all ever seen it, that's
you.
Painted.
That's you in
costume.
costume.
That's painted after me and my wife. Yeah.
Motherfucker,
awesome.
I should have bought that shit. I just bought a Prowler shirt for the on-set cinema, but it's not you. So now, seriously,
oh, dude, that Paul Bearer press one?
Yeah, I got that one. Yeah, the long sleeve.
I got that too,
yeah,
dude. It's fucking
I had
sick.
to. Yeah.
It's beautiful,
beautiful.
beautiful.
Love it. But, okay, so now I need to say, like, seriously.
I need to buy that shirt because I feel
you
left
need
out
to feel
now.
left out. I need to see Joe in the costume. I'm going to bribe him to come to the on-set cinema in costume and show up the other guy.
I'm going to fucking Ghostbusters
so
that night.
Send me the costume and I'll pay for it and I'll be in costume.
You're too tall.
I'll just crouch, dude. You have no idea. I was in a Godzilla costume for fucking 3 days straight at a convention this guy built, and I was like literally almost a foot taller than him, and I had to wear it for this convention.
You're gonna look like fucking Steve Urkel in the fucking Prowler costume, dude.
Dude, did I do that? I don't know. I probably did. I don't know. The fact that you motherfuckers covered those Halloween episodes on your show is the best fucking thing ever. It got me and the wife the opportunity to go back because HBO Max had them on there.
Oh, did they?
Oh, yeah, they did the Stevel episodes? Yeah, dude.
And the Stevel episodes,
as soon as
they were
I
so
saw
much
you were
fun to
covering
revisit.
them, I was like, oh, shit. Jeremy, do you remember the Stevel Urkel episodes for Family Matters?
Oh,
the doll and shit where it talks and
the
walks
killer
around.
dummy.
Oh, my God.
They were a blast, dude.
Dude, I forgot about that.
It was so much fun to reminisce about, like, TGIF, too. That was, like, the big thing that we were talking about.
Well, we talked about that
on those
last week,
episodes.
actually. We were talking about Cody, like, Shadi.
Oh, yeah.
From Step by Step. Jeremy met that motherfucker.
So, dude, it's funny you mentioned that because so did I. I met him at a fucking martial arts ceremony dinner.
Did he say, dude?
No, but he was super nice though because he's in the fucking what is it? The Bloodsport 3.
He's in Bloodsport 3.
No, excuse me, Kickboxer.
Kickboxer,
3.
that's right.
Yeah,
2, right? I think it's 2, isn't it?
I think no, he's in Kickboxer. I think isn't Van Damme in 1 and 2?
I thought Van Damme was just in one.
Or maybe I'm
probably
wrong,
so wrong, but whatever.
I'm probably totally wrong. I don't know. I had a couple drinks.
Dana.
He's definitely in 3 for sure.
Let's give him my van.
He was super cool.
Yeah.
My uncle does. My uncle's a karate master, so he invited me, him and my cousin invited me to this martial arts ceremony that they were giving out, and Michael Jai White was there.
No
and,
shit, dude. Fucking
yeah,
Black Dynamite, man. Holy fuck, man.
Yeah, I didn't get to meet him, but I was going to be like, yeah, I love Spawn and Black Dynamite. And Kerry Tagawa was there. I got to meet him too, Shang Tsung himself.
Oh, dude. Well, you were supposed to, Jeremy was supposed to meet him like a couple months ago, and then we were like, we're not allowed to go to this because COVID. Wasn't that who you were going to meet down the street in Fairfax?
Yeah, dude. No, it was Scott Grimes.
But he was there, though.
Oh,
he was
no,
there.
You got to...
Well, we didn't get to meet anyone.
No, I didn't get to meet him. No.
I was going to meet Freddie Prinze Jr. because I know what you did last summer, but they all canceled. Then it was like 5 minutes from my house.
So, Joe, we got to tell you, man. So, you met Cody, Sasha Mitchell.
Yeah, Sasha Mitchell.
So the way that me and Justin met Arnold Schwarzenegger was we had to pretend to be chiropractors.
Yeah. Are we finally revealing this? Are we finally revealing this for real?
I don't give
a second.
Fuck.
I know there's some kind of fucking scam that you're running because I was like, how are you meeting all these motherfuckers, dude?
Listen, your badge.
I'm not joking when I tell you. I'm not joking when I tell you that we literally had to pretend to be.
My name is Jeremy Moorhead. I run a pharmacy.
Yeah, come over, touch my back, do it.
You told that motherfucker that shit, and then after I got drunk after we fucking met Arnold, I walked up and I was like, "No, it's all bullshit, dude. I just want our pictures. We just met Arnold Schwarzenegger. I just want the pictures." And you're like, "You didn't tell him anything,
dude,
right?" I'm like, "No, I didn't tell him anything."
Dude, I was in like all dressed up with a fucking suit on. Dude, my name badge said Dr. Jeremy Moorhead on it.
My goodness.
You and Brady both got Dr. whatever. I got nothing. And then they called me a communist.
Yeah, he called you a communist, yeah.
For real. I don't know why.
You fucking guys, dude. That's hilarious.
You're a fucking communist.
I'm so terrible. I'm so terrible, but
Yeah, dude. I mean, the things that I'll do to meet some of my heroes, man.
But that's so cool. Like, at the end of the day, you met Schwarzenegger and I didn't, right? Like,
he looked at me in the face and said, "So nice to meet you." And I was like, "All right, that's all I need. Fuck yeah."
Ah, yeah, you're so handsome. I love you.
On,
are you gonna massage me or what?
See your penis. No, I mean,
oh no,
no, for real, not. But I mean, there's a lot more to that story Jeremy will not tell. At some point, there will be a full patron episode about that entire experience from start to finish,
as there should be.
Yes,
with Schwarzenegger rolling the window up on Justin after he signed an autograph for me.
Kill you right now, dude. I seriously, I bought the gun, the Uzi 9mm, and I'm gonna come to your house and shoot you with it if you mention it again. Please do not. Seriously.
Did you use your Rock'em Sock'em jetpack to fucking blow out of there?
Yeah, Jamie.
Dude, all right. The last thing I'll say about it is, so he ignored. He turned down the autograph request a couple times before he finally caved, right? But so like the first time I was like, Mr. Schwarzenegger, he was leaving the chiropractor event. I was like, Mr. Schwarzenegger, I'm such a huge fan. Would you mind signing this for me? He goes, "Nice to see you," and like just
at least he walked by us. At least he walked
me
right by us, though.
So then, as he was about to leave outside, he has to walk by us again, and I was like, "Mr. Schwarzenegger, please, would you mind just signing this?" And he goes, "Have a great day."
Oh, no! What an asshole!
Listen, so we'll have to save though, Jeremy, for real. We'll save the rest.
We'll save the rest.
This needs to be a Patreon special because that ending crushed the rest of my entire life. So.
Yeah, it did.
It was like 10 in the morning, and I immediately went to the hotel bar and said, "Do you have liquor? Can you give me liquor? Do you have anything that's heavy? More than 10% alcohol?"
The salt on the wound was... Justin was so upset, and then we go to a bar, and the first thing we see is a Terminator 2 pinball machine.
Listen, I'm still sore about it, and it will never, ever die. Now, it's going to be that thing forever.
I'm crying.
But ladies and gentlemen,
That's a great story, dude.
The Prowler, it's the movie we sat down to talk about, but you know what? Jeremy was right in saying when we sat down to talk about this movie that a lot of people get killed in this movie. It's very stylish, and it's fun. And I'm glad that we were able to inject some other random nonsense and, shenanigans to fill in the blanks.
This movie's very, this movie's very simplistic in its nature because, again, this came out the year after Friday the 13th. They got a budget because the studio was trying to cash in on
our date, Rose.
The slasher craze. And there's, like I said, there's really not a whole lot to this movie story-wise. It's just really, really well done practical effects with, a great foundation
Unless
of a story.
Unless you guys really want to get in depth about the whole psychological trauma behind, it's a thing. It plays an integral part in the movie,
I think the cinematography is really good and the lighting is really good in this movie. And as far as like the psychological trauma goes, like you could take it or leave it. It's very by the numbers, but it is semi-interesting.
At the time.
And again, you got to remember, it's early 80s, okay? And it's that trend. And like Jeremy had mentioned before, there's a lot of trends, and even Justin mentioned before, there's a lot of trends from Halloween, both Halloween and Friday the 13th here, and even Texas Chainsaw Massacre, right? Like, that was a big thing with the grave robbing and kind of desecrating of graves and things like that, so we get a little bit of that at the end here, too.
Yeah, 100%. And there's one thing that I have to mention here. When she's under the table, Pam's under the table, and that giant, big baller male rat, he's got the biggest balls known to man, walks by her. I swear it's the first time I've seen in motion picture history where they didn't add that fake-ass squeaking sound effect, which rats actually don't do, by the way. Joe, because one of your co-hosts is a big rat guy.
This is true.
And
my co-host Connor. Oh, I didn't mention Sean either. Sean and Connor, but Connor specifically with the rat. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Eobard.
And very true here. One of the biggest thing is for me and my wife, because we raised rats for like 10 fucking years.
Oh, you mentioned that. That's right.
Yeah. In every movie, they always add that like a random squeaking sound, and they actually don't make that sound unless they're like upset or they're like pushed down on by another rat or something. So
in distress.
Yeah. So in every movie, 95% of movies where they show a real rat, it's like squeak, squeak, squeak. Like, they don't fucking do that. So this movie, maybe it was just because they had low budget. They're like, we're not going to put a rat sound effect in here.
No, they had $1 million.
They had a big ass fat rat with a big fat fucking balls going in there, big ass fucking dick and shit. And he's like, I'm gonna walk in there behind your head and like.
You want an additional wrinkle to that?
Yeah, let's do it.
So again, I was on On-Set Cinema for the Prowler.
So they have a big bald rat on set.
The Inn in Cape May. No, but Vicki Dawson was talking about that scene.
Ooh.
Yeah, the rat, and the rat was not black. It was a white rat that they put soot all over to make black.
What in the actual fuck?
Yep, because the rat wrangler didn't have a black rat or brown rat or whatever. So yeah, there you go, a little tidbit for you right from the source.
That poor fucking animal. I swear to God, I'm gonna apply for animal abuse.
Prowler's canceled
right now against. No, not really. No.
It's like Scrooge, dude. The glue isn't sticking to this mouse's head. Have you tried staples?
I would never do that to this poor little animal. No, of course you fucking wouldn't. God damn it. Oh, that.
So the ending, the jump scare with old White Eyes, like obviously again. There are certain things from Friday the 13th that they took out their fucking notepad and were like, this
honestly,
needs to be in it.
One of the weakest things in the movie. I'm not a big fan of the ending. I don't think it works very well.
The jump scare?
Honestly, I think the ending in general, that's the one thing I wanted to bring up. I think the film builds extremely well as a slasher, I think, in terms of, especially comparing it to others of the time. But when it gets to the ending, obviously, they've already been to this house before. We see the deputy just get offed without anyone. He's not offed. He's just like pushed to the side for the time being. And then we get some pretty good shotgun kills, which are great.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I feel like the rolling around on the floor thing doesn't really work that well, and then like it ends, and then when the music starts after that, I feel like I'm watching a fucking rerun of Young and the Restless, and I'm like, what the fuck am I watching here? Like, let's bring you back to the house where your friends are hanging out, and they're still hanging there.
Shower's still fucking on.
I love that. So, all right, here's the thing. I don't like. I will agree. I don't like the jump scare portion of this, but I love this ending. So yeah, like Justin was alluding to, like Farley Granger's like rolling around with Vicky Dawson, and they're struggling over this shotgun, and she ends up blowing his fucking head off, which is amazing. But I love the end of this because this room that we keep revisiting throughout the whole fucking film, and we don't know anything's wrong in this. Like, characters don't know anything's wrong, but we do. And there's a couple times where people come in and it's not revealed, and we're just like, oh my god, they're fucking still in that shower. So Vicky comes in and sees Kurt and Sherry dead in the fucking shower and freaks out. Now, I don't like the fucking jump scare thing where he Kurt comes back to life somehow after having a
she's
fucking,
hallucinating. She's just seeing
saber
shit
through his head, or a bayonet through his head, and grabs her. But like, I love it almost calls back to that Black Christmas idea where you think you're safe finally, and like the nightmare is over, but there's still something lurking in the dark. It may not be Billy in your fucking attic, but it's your fucking dead friends in your bedroom, in your shower. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean, but just, for me, it always felt like pretty thrown together, and last minute, it doesn't feel very cohesive to the rest of the movie, where everything seems pretty set up very well. I mean, like, everything is calculated, and then it gets to this moment, and I'm like, obviously, we know during that time period, you had to have that end scare that was going to be that one last shock. And this, for me, I was just like, we already saw that, so that's not a shock. For this character, maybe it is, but it's the same thing we saw earlier in the movie, so it's not a big deal to me as a viewer. I'm
okay with it.
Very poor. I think it would have been very... I can't even think of a better ending, honestly. But I mean, give me time.
The guy's head gets fucking blown.
Time.
Here it is.
Guy's head gets blown off and just goes to.
There you go.
Maybe,
better. No, I don't need to see her go and see her fucking friends that she spent 2 seconds with.
Well, let's keep in tune of this ending, right? So she goes in. And she hears the fucking shower on. She's like, oh, shit, I forgot. She goes in. She's like, Sherry, you're still in the shower? Oh, my God, you're fucking dead. She freaks out. But instead of Kurt grabbing her, the sheriff, or not the sheriff, the deputy grabs her. And, like, that's the jump scare instead. Not that it has to end on that, but, like, I don't like the fact that he comes back to life. Like, it's just fucking stupid.
Yeah, again,
like she gets
100%.
She gets scared from the guy coming up because he hears her scream. Like that, I don't know. That kind of makes more sense to me. It's not a great ending, but I think it's better.
Cillian Murphy's like, yeah, I'm done making these Batman movies for Christopher Nolan.
I got stabbed with a pitchfork.
I'm done with
Go
Inception.
fuck yourself.
I'm just gonna come up here right now. I mean, like for me at least, I just feel like the movie builds so well, and it has a shit ending. I mean, I just think they threw it together. That's my view. And
it's because Friday the 13th.
No, it's not because of Friday the 13th. It's because of Carrie. But Carrie was the first of those that really. That's what everyone said. That's what every studio head said, is that we have to have that ending. And some of them work, and some of them don't. And I think the more subtle ones during this time period of when The Prowler came out work well. But again, the whole rest of the movie works so fucking well. I can't fault it for that. I mean, there's so much to love about this movie, from the period piece that is done so precisely. The cinematography is so amazing. And again, like we said, Joe, earlier on, we have this silhouette, this amazing slasher villain that really never got much appreciation until almost 30 years later. It's insane to think that The Prowler got slept on.
Even then, like, I feel like people don't appreciate it that much. Like, it's a fucking original. Not only is it an original idea, but it is creepy to see this guy decked out in. I mean, it is World War II regalia,
Army
but
fatigues,
like,
yeah, and he's got
yeah.
What is the shit? Because you've done the costume. What is that?
I'll tell you
on his
all the
face?
parts.
What is that on his face though? Because it looks just like like netting, right? Like they would wear if they were in the trenches, right?
That's exactly what it is.
Okay.
It's like it's not a ghillie suit, but it's like a ghillie netting that you put over your head, and then so the coat has a hood on it, and you put the hood up, and then
over
you can
your
pull,
face. Okay.
And then you can pull the strings down, and then that makes the face smaller around that portion, and then you put the helmet on over that.
Dude,
yeah.
I feel like
it's creepy. I think it works. I think it's really good.
I feel like it should
it's
stand
super
up
creepy.
right up next to Harry Warden from My Buddy Valentine.
Yeah, and,
Michael
oh my God, that's
Myers, Freddy Krueger.
like,
I feel like he should be there. I feel like that.
And Harry Warden is another one. Like, it's just a minor suit, but it's fucking great, dude, in that breathing and everything. And we finally got a NECA figure of him. So I'm saying, NECA, dude, where's the Prowler?
Where's my
Let's
fucking
do it.
Prowler figure?
Where's the fucking Prowler?
I'll buy that shit first day. I mean, Joe, you know that I
we've
bought
got-
that minor figure.
Oh, you know I did too, baby. It's
Because I got it
downstairs.
before you. I remember you commenting like, "Where's mine? Where's mine?"
Yeah.
You know.
Dude, somehow we have a Russ Thorne figure from Slumber Party Massacre.
what?
We don't have
is
a
that
Prowler
about?
figure.
Yeah.
Which I do have. I
It's-
do have that Summer Party Massacre figure too.
All right.
It's so fucking
it's
rad,
great. We
man.
have to do this because, ladies and gentlemen, this is a retrospective. This is not a Fresh Frights review. This is not our regular reviews. So we have to do our Trash It or Treasure It segment. So I'm going to throw it first to our guest, Joe, the Prowler. Trash it or treasure it.
Bro. Fucking treasure, cherish, covet. Again, this is one of my top 3 slashers of all time. It's The Burning, My Bloody Valentine, and The Prowler.
So you were the right guy to bring on for this, and I didn't even know this. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just assumed, I assumed, based on his character, he was the right guy.
Those 3 films, you can say Friday the 13th, you can say Michael Myers, but again, Michael Myers wasn't supposed to be what he is now, and Jason wasn't even supposed to be what he is now. But all of those 3 that I mentioned, Cropsey and the Miner, Harry Warden, and Farley Granger, the Prowler, they were all supposed to be those iconic characters, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like they do this formula that we like, the slasher formula. It exceeds all expectations. And I feel like that's why we keep bringing these films up when we stack it again. Like, when we watch newer films, we stack these films against them because we're like, well, is it as good as this? Or is it, whether it's in regards to effects or plot or if it's scary, if it's too funny and not, you need to strike that fucking special sauce balance there for a really successful slasher. And all of those films that I just mentioned do it spectacularly, in my opinion. And again, Prowler is 3rd on that list. But The Prowler is a film that if you haven't seen, you definitely should see, especially if you're a fan of the slasher genre. And even now, it has a resurgence, but Blue Underground put out that Blu-ray.
Yeah, the uncut version, yeah.
Yeah, which was
everyone
great.
should buy, but I mean,
Yeah,
I think someone else should pick it up and do a 4K Ultra HD. I mean, actually, Blue Underground owns, last I heard, Joe the home video rights, so they should just release it on 4K Ultra HD.
And I think they might, they did the Maniac 4K scan, and they did the Zombie 4K scan, and I feel like or even House by the Cemetery too, didn't they?
They did.
Yes,
sure they did. Yeah, they did that as well. Yeah.
I think the Prowler deserves that, but again, somebody like Shout Factory is way bigger than Blue Underground. I mean, we know Blue Underground, but if you asked anybody about Blue Underground, they'd be like, who?
But my only worry is that they won't do a 4K Ultra HD, and I think that, I mean, what's great about Shout when they do those is they'll give you the original Blu-ray transfer that they're doing for the 4K, and then they'll give you the 4K, but I think, like, this movie especially is so beautiful to look at those deep blacks. I mean, like, they don't think about the way these movies looked when they talk about them. When you listen to Joseph Zito and Tom Savini do the commentary for this movie, they don't appreciate, they don't understand the difference between what they did back in 1980 compared to what filmmakers are doing now on all digital. And
it's film versus digital.
It's so different, but when you look at the movie, it's beautiful. All those pool scenes. I mean, that opening with all the period stuff, like, I don't think people take the time to appreciate that as much as they should. And that's why I'm like, do a 4K, because then they'll notice all those details.
Yeah, but especially to your point, especially the lighting. Like, we're talking about film. We're talking about film, folks, right? So, like,
that thing that existed a long time ago, before most of you were born.
The idea of shooting on film, like, because I mean, I guess you can call me a filmmaker, but like, and if Jeremy is too, but like, when you shoot on digital, you have the flexibility to go back and be like, was that take good? I don't know. Let's look at it again. Let's do it again. With film, you don't have that. You have to you're on a whim and a prayer with a fucking...
You're going and doing dailies, and you're going to theater and looking at that stuff, so... And that's the...
With like a light meter and shit, and like trying to figure out like if everything's orchestrated properly. But to your point, I would want Shout to grab it because I want that fucking action figure too.
Listen, okay.
So you know what?
Let's do this here right now, because Movie Dumpster has pull. We have a little bit of pull, I think.
I don't know about that. You guys have more pull than we do.
We'll grab some pull.
But let's combine.
Shout Factory.
Voltron.
Listen to this episode. Jeremy, say it. Give us this figure. Give us this Prowler figure. Give us this Prowler figure. I'm sure you know everyone that works over there, dude.
From Shout Factory or from NECA?
From Shout Factory. They initiate it. They can connect with people at NECA. And I'm just saying. Dude,
I know.
Dude, I got my Tom Atkins Night of the Creeps figure. If they can do that, and they can do my Harry Warden minor figure, they can do a Prowler figure, right?
And Angela from Night of the Demons. That's another obscure one.
So, and even Stooge and Suzanne too.
Yeah.
I would love to see that. I'd throw money all over that.
And ladies and gentlemen, we'd love to hear what you think about this movie. I think there's a lot of people listening right now that are like new to the movie. So listen, do me a favor, listen to this episode, go buy the fucking movie, and then go tell Shout Factory and NECA, make the figure.
Yeah, and go fucking grab your tickets from Onset Cinema because they added another date for the 19th.
They did, because it sold out.
Because the 20th sold out, dude.
So don't tell me you're going to be there for the 19th and I'll be there for the 20th and you're going to be there.
No, I told you. I'm going to see motherfucking Ghostbusters Afterlife. I'm not going to be there, unfortunately.
Well,
I wish I was.
Our episode will already be out by that point, but we'd love to hear what you think of it. Thankfully, I screwed Slimer up the ass, and he gave me a pass. I don't know.
It was my fault. It was my fault.
You screwed Slimer, and then because he gave you a muncher.
But ladies and gentlemen, seriously, for real, we had a blast on this episode. That's what this show is always about. And we just have to sit down and thank each and every one of you, and especially our patrons. They help pay for this show. Do yourselves a favor. You've already heard the name Movie Dumpster. Go check their show the fuck out. I'm a patron myself personally. Go over there and show them some love. They throw out killer content. They're one of my biggest favorite shows in the world, actually. And that's why I'm like, I'm sitting here and literally, you have no idea how long I've been holding the cum in the tip of my dick the whole time Joe's been talking. Like, I can't let this go. If I let it go, it's not special anymore. So I'm just going to hold it the entire time. I'll pee through it, you know? It's just a thing where
Jesus Christ.
You find these shows where, and especially you find these people that are, there's this kinship, and it's magical. But they're amazing. Go check out Movie Dumpster immediately.
Thank you. Thank you so much, man. You know, that really means a lot, and thanks for hooking up and reaching out and having me on, because I had a fucking blast. I've been waiting to come on, and I came on for The Prowler, and I couldn't ask for much more than that.
And I had no idea. I had no idea this movie was so special to you, but I assumed.
Oh yeah,
I had this instinct. There was like this deep down. I mentioned it to Jeremy, and he's like, "Book it, do it now."
Oh,
Come on,
do it! Roll up the fucking window, do it now!
I might as well roll out the fucking red carpet, considering how big Movie Dumpster is. You guys are killing it.
Oh my
You're
God, what are you
slaughtering
talking
it.
about?
I mean, you guys are
look,
seriously.
I
slaughtering
appreciate it. I wish we were as big as you're talking about, but you know what you could do? If you're listening, you could go over to moviedumpsterpodcast.com. You can subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts, and that we would be very appreciated. We do have a Patreon as well, if you'd be so inclined. And we got a Ghostbusters month for November. We've been talking about Ghostbusters a couple times, so we're going to do a live watch along of 1 and 2. We're going to do a review of the Afterlife movie that's coming out, and we're going to do some real Ghostbusters episodes and a commentary track for the 2016 one. So I'm very excited for that. And I also do the show with my co-hosts Sean and Connor, and I wanted to mention that because I forgot to do that in the beginning.
No, it's all good. I'd love to have both of them on as well. I'd love to have all three of you on for a smorgasbord of
Holy
complete
shit, that would be a
nonsense.
blast.
You know, a Movie Dumpster / brains. Jeremy, tell me we're ready for that. You're the sober one. Tell me we're ready for that.
Dude, that would be amazing. You know, Joe knows that I'm a fan of his show. I reached out after they launched it and told him how much I loved it. He was so fucking cool. He sent me a Movie Dumpster shirt, which you probably don't have one, Justin, because you're not as cool as me.
Did I send you stuff, Justin?
I'm a patron, but I'm not a certain whatever. It's that thing where it's like I'm a certain tier below you.
Did I give you stuff the last time I saw you? If I didn't, my goodness, I'm sorry.
No, I
will
grabbed
get
your
you
ass
some
and
shit.
your balls in front of some other guy. I was like, I would like that shirt, but I like your balls. I swear to God, it was a weird sexual thing or whatever.
Brother, if I could have swore I gave you stuff, but if I didn't, I will get that to you for sure. Yeah.
No problemo. No, this is all family here, and that's what this show has always been about, and that's why I'm so happy. Seriously, I'm gonna get all sentimental. I'm gonna cry a little bit, you know. But for real, like, you know, I have my boy Jeremy on this new version of what the show is. You know, we created this brain stew thing together, and we're bringing on people that we really care about, that really have the same love of the movies that we love together, just to sit down, dissect them, have a great time, and, you know, just be family together. And that's what this is all about. And we hope that every single person listening is having the same amount of fun that we are. So thank you to each and every one of you listening right now, because you're our life force, for real. Like, you're the reason why we do what we do. So if you like what you're hearing, seriously, don't just throw us some love on iTunes. Go check out Movie Dumpster, subscribe, throw them some reviews, and look forward to the future, because if Joe came on tonight, I'm sure I can put a hook on him and bring him back in for something else. Just say
Look, I'm telling you right now. Now, if for cats that are listening, and we are strictly a audio podcast now, but next year we are doing video, and by Jove, Justin and Jeremy are getting their asses. They're coming down from fucking Virginia, and they're coming to fucking Pennsylvania, and we are doing a video version of Movie Dumpster with them.
Oh, dude, that'd be awesome.
So let's schedule that. We'll figure that shit out for next year. But yeah, stay tuned for that, definitely.
100%. And ladies and gentlemen, until next time, I'm Justin.
And I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Joe from Movie Dumpster.
And as always, keep it fucking creepy.
Brain stew!
Spooky.
I just flipped my pants a little bit.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Because I'm always out of stuff.
Limp Bizkit!
Oh yeah, chocolate starfish.
Don't edit any of this out. This